So when we use clean language during education on tour, this will be like what? How will we use these simple questions to enhance our learning, our experience, and our understanding of one another, and the contribution that we make to our communities after the programme? We designed a few questions that we thought it might be interesting for you to answer. So just take a moment to get yourself comfortable and then think. When you're thinking about your dreams and your aspirations and your hopes for education in the world, what would you like to have happen? Take a moment to jot down your ideas on paper and then ask yourself a few clean questions. What kind of a is that? Is there anything else about that? What happens just before? What happens next? Take a few moments to model out your dreams and aspirations for education on tour, for education in the whole world. And then the second question, if this project, this Education on Tour project, were to go just as you'd like it to, it will be like what? Just this section, the one that you're about to embark on, you'd like it to be like what? And ask yourself a few clean questions. And then thinking about yourself as a learner. When you're learning really well, when you're learning at your best, you're like what? What kind of a learner are you? When you're learning, what's the first thing that happens? Then what happens? What happens after you've been learning? Question 4. This is a good one for just before you arrive on Education on Tour. But if you're already starting, then you can think about going out to meet the hosts in Brazil. So when you're in a new environment, what resources do you bring? What are you really good at? What are your skills? When you're in a new environment like this, what support do you need to be at your best? And if you're working in a group, you can ask one another clean questions about what are you bringing to this project, to this new environment, and what do you need to be able to work well? And you can explore that in pairs or in small groups of 6. And question 5, staying with this idea of teamwork, an ideal team that supports you to work at your best is like what? What really helps you get involved in teamwork? And at the same time, what kinds of things stop you being able to work well in a team? So an ideal team for you is like what? Question 6. And this is a question for before you go out into the local community. So connecting with the local communities as a team of 3, when connecting with local communities, you'd like that connecting to be like what? For that connecting to go really well, you'd like to be like what? And for you to be at your best and for the connecting to go as you'd like it, what support or resources do you need? And you can communicate that across your team of 3, just as a way of sharing your expectations, your needs, and making sure that your teamwork is really strong. And finally, a question for the end of the project. So thinking about bringing the learning that you've had here in Brazil and from your colleagues, think about bringing that learning back to your own community. If that were to go just as you'd like it, that will be like what? and to share your learning at your best, to have the impact that you would like to have, you'd like to be like what? And in order for you to be at your best and for you to share that information in just the way you'd like it to, what support or resources do you need to bring back all of your learning back into the communities? So this was some of our hopes for using clean language during Education on Tour. And these are some of the themes that we think you could use it to explore. And for you, this clean language is going to be like what?